Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video I wanted to talk a little bit about free-to-play units, and since we have a little bit of downtime right now on global, kind of wanted to just talk about free-to-play units. Should you grind them? Are they worth it? And how strong should they be? Basically just a little bit of a discussion about them, because I'm someone who plays the game relatively free to play. Every year I buy the Christmas gift pack discount and the anniversary discounts. I spend about $6 on the game a year. Huge money, I know, but the point is free to play units are a very important backbone to my box, whether that's doing free to play challenges, doing some no item runs, fleshing out teams for categories. Free-to-play units do compose an important part of my box, and I think for most players at least one or two free-to-play units have been crucial to a team or a build at some given point in time. And I kind of wanted to talk about how strong should they be, and should you really grind for them? Like, should you put in the effort? Are they worth it? As a new player coming in, is it worth it to get this unit or that unit? And just kind of give you an idea on that. So first, let's just talk about how strong they need to be. So right off the bat, free-to-play units, I'm going to say it, do not need to be red zone level strong. There are some that are red zone level strong. The Ginyu Force units are a great sign of this. But the Ginyu Force units, the physical LR and the tech LR, were made that strong to help compensate for the fact that the Ginyu Force within itself is an incredibly small category. I think in this scenario they're unique in how strong they were made. There are some other free-to-play units that are strong enough for red zone, like the AGL LR androids. They are still very strong. They can handle at least certain red zone stages, and it's not to say that units shouldn't be built with red zone in mind. It's not to say that they should never build free-to-play units that can handle red zone. But I don't think every unit that comes out needs to handle red zone, or be a triumphant unit in red zone. I think as long as the free-to-play unit is usable in certain content, whether that's SBR, ESBR, red zone, epic collection of battles, whatever content it's in, even world tournament, as long as that unit has usability, I'm fine with free-to-play units being different scales of usefulness. Some even have niche usefulness on certain teams, like this Android 16 for example, who's a unit you can actually take to red zone and was a great buffer as a tank for the Android's Cell Saga team. So there's certain niche elements to free-to-play units that I think are important, like this Bulma for example, great unit on a physical Kid Goku team. It's exceptions like this that are good. I think that's where free-to-play units shine, If you've got physical Kid Goku, you want to pick up this Bulma. You definitely want her in your team. She's a great unit. She's good across multiple forms of content. She's easy to farm. She's a really strong unit. Her link set's a little bit wonky, but at the end of the day, she's well worth the grind and the effort. I think this is an example of really great free-to-play units, and then an example of not so great free-to-play units, where Sorbet and Frieza, yes, I'm not saying they're a terrible unit. They do have a solid kind of viability on SBR teams. I've used them for a couple free-to-play SBR runs. But comparing Golden Frieza and Sorbet to, for example, Bulma is night and day. Bulma, I would say to everyone, you have to farm. Whereas Golden Frieza and Sorbet, I'd say, if you're really desperate to fill out a character, I guess you can. The next thing I want to answer is, what should free-to-play units be? And I think free-to-play units, or where they come from and where they shine, is in giving us characters we wouldn't really see. So an example is this: a lot of DB Saga characters, Yamcha Puar, Bulma, there's Trunks with Tapion Sword. A lot of characters that aren't really worthy of being general banner or DFE units, or maybe don't have enough highlighted moments, or are from movies or very short scenes, or just bring interesting new mechanics. A great example of free-to-play units is the Para brothers, who are actually a pretty solid unit, but also were the first unit to ever have the orb selection mechanic implemented. And I think free-to-play units are a great way to test these mechanics, test how they integrate with the game, test how players kind of respond to this, utilize this. I think free-to-play units are good from all of these aspects, giving us characters that we may not see too often, giving us characters or ways to test new mechanics. I think that's where free-to-play units shine, as well as filling out niche categories on teams. Like Master Roshi being Turtle School lead, being a Turtle School support, giving that team a revive skill, giving that team a solid lead. I think, again, this is where free-to-play units really shine. Krillin was the same with Earthlings. You could only run an Earthlings team in the Krillin for a long period of time, and he was great for that. And he had stacking, he had AoE for World Tournament. So free-to-play units, I think, are definitely worth the grind. I would say to people, not every free-to-play unit needs to be obtained. You should pick up free-to-play units if you need them. So I don't think you need to grind them. I don't think it's a necessity. I don't think it's a necessity to give them all hidden potential orbs like I do. I think at the end of the day, it's much better to pick free-to-play units, especially if you're a new player, on a case-by-case example. And if you need something to fill out your team, rather look up a free-to-play unit or look up a unit from that category. Let's say you've got 5 units from Universe 6 and you're looking for a great filler, picking up the Int Super Saiyan 2 Kale is a great pickup. If you're filling out your fusion team, pick up a unit. If you're filling out your Otherworld Warriors, pick up Paikuhan. One thing I will say I don't like about free-to-play units, or at least what I don't like what the game does, is when the game releases free-to-play units that A, are not usable at all. So Veku is an example of this, just a unit that's really not usable. Wasn't usable when he released, just isn't usable. And I also dislike, especially you see this case a lot and very, very often with Super Strike units, but I also dislike when they release a unit and then they immediately Dokkan Awaken and EZA that unit. For me, this kind of removes the scalability of a unit, because by instantly Dokkan Awakening and then EZAing the unit, you're basically giving them 2 power creeps when you could have covered it all in the first Dokkan Awakening. And this for me is a little bit of a shame, because it kind of like, reduces the longevity of the unit. Paikuhan could receive an EZA later on to bring him back into relevancy, but instead you've given him both at once. But that's just my thoughts. I just kind of wanted to do a video on it. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below, so please let me know, and maybe let me know what your favorite free-to-play unit is as well. I think that would be really cool to see or hear. And yeah, but as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Till then, bye.